Today we talking about LL Cool J, right?
Yeah,
All right. So first, let's start this off. I guess from the very beginning. And this is actually a good topic because LL been around so long, and depending on who you ask, they'll tell you, you know, something different about him. So asking somebody from this current generation, they would probably tell you that they know LL for acting, like NCIS or one of them
yeah.
shows that he used to do.
He was on there for 14 seasons.
Exactly. So he's like a staple on that show, and he's probably most known for that show when we talk about people from today's day and age. But um, as we go further back, like you two, for example, you know him primarily as the rapper LL Cool J.
Robert. All you know as Robert.
LL signed to Def Jam at the age of 16. So
Back in 85.
yeah. So he was the first to do a lot, like hip hop's first true like solo superstar, like in the rap game. I think
Yeah.
prior to him,
Superstar.
yeah, and then
He
on
was the
top of that,
first.
yeah, then on top of that, I think like anybody else that you would point to was probably in a group, as far as like
Uh,
people that was like well known.
Curtis Blow was the first solo superstar.
Everybody mainly came out groups. Then they picked the best one out of the group.
How would you describe like LL Cool J's persona, like for somebody being introduced to him first time?
LL literally brought swag to hip hop. So what we consider like the hip hop swag, he brought that like outside of the hood before Run-DMC. Like blues singers used to wear like performance clothes once they started getting famous, not like when they first started. And then like rock stars always wore performance clothes. You know what I mean? And when I mean like Chuck Berry and all that, so that comes from back then. Even the modern rock stars in like '80s, you remember Metallica and all of them, they wore like performance clothes. You know they don't wear tights on the street and all that.
Hmm.
And then you get into funk. Funk comes out of comes out of the roots of rock with the black rock. But all that comes out of rock and roll, which we created. So they wore performance clothes too. So when you get to James Brown, he wore the same type of outfits as Elvis Presley. If you actually watch him with the chest open, James Brown wore that all that. That's all rock stuff. And then with funk, it was like Funkadelics had they like spaced out outfits first, and then the white people started doing that. Then then you gotta remember like Prince, he comes out like that when he wore all that wacky wild stuff. But that was the most popular music. Rick James also wore a bunch of crazy wild stuff that nobody in Buffalo would ever wear. You remember when Dad said, because you remember like our family from the same projects he from. Dad said that nigga would pull up in the car and they would clown the motherfucker as soon as he got the car. Like, what the fuck is you wearing? I remember
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like for people who don't know, like, yeah, Buffalo nobody dressed like that. But like, you know what I'm saying? But they used to clown him when he got out the car because all that rock star shit he was wearing, like that ain't normal stuff people in the hood wear. So when rappers started, they only role models was funk artists. So because funk was the most popular genre in the hood and disco. Run DMC came out and it was the first rappers that was like when they after they got signed, they dressed like gangsters. Okay,
Yeah.
because Curtis Blow
Like he
did
was,
wear regular clothes, but fashion was changing between because in 1981 and stuff like that, people still dress like the 70s. So in 81, people still dress like 79. You know what I'm saying? But like by the time 83 and stuff like fashion changes.
Hmm.
Run DMC was the first people to wear modern, like whatever the new most in date fashion when the fashion just changed. Because when it changed up, really that's what's considered hip hop fashion. From
you
Run
must be
DMC
J Max
on,
J.
hmm,
Rest in peace, Max J. J Max J.
yeah, they did Run told them to dress like Jam Master Jay because Jam Master Jay was in the streets. So they really dressed like middle class dudes, not really street dudes. They were like stuff that older hip hop people were in the '70s, like patch blazers with the patches on the elbow and like suits. Kind of, they still was wearing dressing like that. But like dudes in the street, they always got like the newest fashion and they change fashion. You know what I'm saying? Street influence fashion to a certain degree in hip hop for the most part. Um,
Used to be.
Run DMC was the first people to bring street fashion that street dudes was wearing. Like only dudes on the street in Detroit Philly, you know what I mean? Like really dressed like that. And then when they brought it out, that's what encouraged more people to want to be rappers. Because rappers used to dress so weird, a lot of people didn't look up to rappers. They like your song, but they didn't want to be a rapper. Because nobody wanted to dress like the Funkadelics. You know what I'm saying? That was rapping. But Run-DMC made that happen. LL Cool J came out like 2 years after Run-DMC. No, they came out 83. He came out 86. 3 years after Run-DMC. Now I don't.
He on 85.
Came out 85.
Yeah.
2 years after Run-DMC. And you gotta remember, hip hop is more youth influence than it is older influence. So the youth, everybody that was a teenager and before them, so that's a lot of people wanted to be LL Cool J.
The first time I seen him, I knew it was cool. That's the first thing I thought about it. He's cool.
Exactly.
He's fly.
Yeah. Exactly. Like the sweatsuits.
The Kango.
The Kango, but really that was MC Shan brought that out. MC Shan brought that out first.
Yeah,
but they all from Queens. So that was like a Queen style. But Shan was the first person to technically bring that style to the forefront. It wasn't LL Cool J. But LL Cool J was just, he had more like swag and persona than Shan. And he's better rapper.
Pizzazz.
Yeah, what you saying that pretty much he was the first to bring swagger and how he kind of made it cool to be a rapper, especially from like that fashion sense. Like, would you say that he was like one of the first rappers or like archetypes to kind of have like that cool and confident persona?
Definitely. I would say that.
He was the first.
Okay.
He was the first. Now I'm not saying he was the first rapper to be confident, but like every rapper since LL copy LL in a way. In a way, I'm gonna be honest. All these new dudes might not know who he is, but just the way everybody in rap is, that's all a copy of LL Cool J.
Okay.
Like L got the perfect persona. How rappers should think.
And he was so cool. He influenced people from different regions to start dressing differently. Because like, I remember like we from New York, so dudes up here are always dressed like New York dudes up here in Buffalo. Then you got Detroit. Detroit dudes was always with it, like that Adidas sweatsuit. You can see YBI, they was in the 70s wearing it. They was like street dudes that were drug, they was always up on it. But they started bringing like certain places down south, niggas still wearing jeans and shoes. But they seen that LL, it was like just changed everything. Cause like it didn't like that got a lot to do with the drug game too. That brought like extra money into the ghetto. Cause back in the day, living in the ghetto really meant that. That's another thing. So I want to put that perspective. People were poor in the 70s and early 80s, up until like 1995, and you can witness this real. Like when people said they was poor and they was black, it wasn't like they didn't wear red monkey jeans and True Religion claiming they was poor in the ghetto. When you back in the day, and people used to have more kids. So when people said they was poor, they was literally like they got 15 brothers and sisters. And even if both their parents work, if you got 15 brothers and sisters, you ain't got nothing extra. They didn't have extra nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they might have single mother, but the single mother would have 7 kids, not 2. So it was like, as far as like people dressed a certain way when the drug money came in, people could afford different clothes, and they could just look at rappers from New York, which New York has always been the fashion capital, no matter what nobody wanted to say. Since the 1800s that I know, New York has been America's fashion capital. So they would look at you can see it on TV now. You can broadcast people dressing in the newest fashion on television, and then you can afford to actually go out and buy it if you can get it available. Because that was another thing. There was no internet, so whatever they sold in your town or city is what you got. Some cities never got nothing. Listening, that's why when people used to pull up on them, like when people up here like used to hit little towns, the bus moves. They dress so damn like it'd be like they call it dress the country. Like they dress so country because in their town they might not even have had the clothes in the stores.
Yeah, I can remember like pre-internet when you see somebody wearing something fly, you know for a fact they didn't get it from a store here. Where you go? I went to New York. I got this from New York.